I'll be there yet.
Oh, come on.
Daf Samach Aleph, we're starting right at the beginning of the page. V'amar Rav Huna Amar Rav. Rav Huna said in the name of Rav, Mishum Rav Meir, in the name of Rav Meir. La'olam yiyu dvarav shel adam mu'atan lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you daven, choose your words wisely and say the words shortly and request what you need. Shanamar, as you can see in the pasuk here, it says as follows: Al tavayel al picha, don't be rash with your mouth. V'lipcha al yamayir, don't speak quickly with your heart. Lahitzi davel lefnei al lekim, to say words in front of the Eibishter. Ki al lekim b'shamayim, the Eibishter is in heavens. V'ata alod, it's on your here on the earth. Al ken yid v'recha matem, you're speaking in front of the King of Kings. Choose your words and speak short words to ask what you need.
This is the mucker for the sixth head minion in 770, no?
Darash of Nachman barav Chiste ma'idich siv. What's the pshat in the pasuk that it says? Vayitzer Hashem Elokim es Adam b'shnei yudin. It says Vayitzer, Hashem created Adam, and it says it with two yudin. That's not the way it's usually spelled in Lashon Kodesh. It's usually spelled with one yud. Shnei yitzarim bara Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Eibusha created two inclinations in the person. Yetzer tov, echad yetzer tov, echad yetzer ra. Maskal Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak asks the questions: is this a unique trait only by human beings? How about animals? Ela meyata behema. Regarding an animal, the laiksiv be vayitzer. It does not say vayitzer. Lesla yitzra. He does not have a yetzer hara. We're going to assume that an animal has a good nature to it, but we also see that it has a bad nature to it, that it could harm, it can do terrible things. The maske, it damages, it bites, it kicks. So apparently even an animal has a good nature and a bad nature, a yetzer tov and a yetzer hara. So why does it not say vayitzer there? Rather, the pshat over here by a human being is different. Something that a human being has that an animal doesn't. What is that? Famous line in the Gemara. When a person is unique in the sense that he always has a challenge he has to deal with. If a person does an Aveda, so then he has to think about what his creator is thinking about him. If a person does not do an Aveda, if a person does what the Eibishter wants, so then he's going to have a challenge from the Yetzer Hara that's going to come and attack him and try to pull him away from that. Whatever a person does, he has a challenge that he has to deal with. That's unique by a human being. Inami, another pshat, Kid Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, the Amr Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, Du partzufin bara Kadosh Baruch Hu. When it says Vayitzer with two yuds, is because a human being is created with two faces. Bara Kadosh Baruch Hu b'Adam Rishon. The Eibusha created Adam Rishon. Shenemar Ocher v'Kedem Tzartani. The Eibusha creates a person front and behind, which means that there were two faces, one in the front and one in behind, as we're going to see here in the Hamshach of the Gemara. Originally, when Adam Rishon was created, the two bodies of male and female were created together, attached to each other, and then the Eibusha severed that connection. So the Hamshach of the Gemara on this Amud is going to be about this inyan of the way Adam and Chava were originally created. And according to this opinion, they were created two faces, and then the Eibusha disconnected it. Vayiven Hashem, the pasuk says, Vayiven Hashem Elokim es hatzela. The Eibusher built the tzela. What the tzela, the side of Adam Rishon. What does this mean? So here's the argument. Rav Shmuel, Chadama Partzov. One means, it doesn't mean just a side. It means there were two faces. There's the front and the back, two faces, a male and female. Chadama, the other says, Zonov. It was just a tail. So now the Gemara is going to go through a bunch of discussion here regarding this argument. Parts of the one that says that there was another face. That there's like the front and behind is literally two different human beings that were attached to each other. One that says that it was just a tail. What's the pshat of Ocher v'Kedem Tzartani? It's just a tail. What's the pshat in this words Ocher and Kedem Tzartani? The answer is he has a completely different shot. And what Rabbi said, the human being is created the last of all other creations on the sixth day of creation. This is a Gemara in another place in Sanhedrin, I believe, where the Gemara says that the human being is created last, so that he could enter into a ready, prepared world for him, that everything is there immediately for him. But he's also first to be punished. A human being is the first to be punished. Where do we find that he's first to be punished? The fact that he's created the last of Ma'aseh Bereishis, that we know. Adam Rishon is not created until Friday, out of Shabbos. The fact that the human being is first to be punished. Where do we see that he's first to be punished? Paran is the mai. What kind of punishment are we talking about? Ilema Paran is the nachash. Are we talking about the punishment regarding chet etzadas by the snake? But Vatani, we learned in the Brayse that it's not so. Rabbi said, Bigdula maschilim min agadol. In matters of greatness, we start from the most prominent. Ubiklala, and in matters of the opposite and curses, maschilim min akatan. You begin with the smallest. Bigdula maschilim min agadol. In matters of greatness, we begin with the most prominent. The chsiv, it says, Vayedaber Moshe, when Moshe Rabbeinu speaks and gives over the words of the Eibishter, what does it say? This is actually by the Karbonis on the Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the first day after Nadav and Avihu passed away, when the Mishkan was put up. So then he speaks to Aaron and the Laz Anisama, giving them instructions what to do. So Moshe Rabbeinu speaks El Aaron, and then Velalazav Elisama Ban of Anisarim. So he goes from first speaking to Aaron, the most prominent, and then to his children. The klala, on the other hand, when it comes to a curse, maschilim and akatan, you begin by the smallest, betchila, because you see betchila and iskal nachash. First, the nachash is the one that got cursed. If you look in the pasuk, the Eibusha tells him al koncha telech, that'll have to go around on his stomach and so on. Ulubisayif niskal chava. The next that was cursed is chava. Ulubisayif niskal adam, and only the last was Adam Arishan cursed. So what do you see over here? That when it came to the punishment after Chet Eitzadas, Adam Arishan, which is the most prominent, got cursed the last. Ella, rather, the Gemara says, Puran is the Mabel. We're talking about the punishment at the time of the Mabel. The Chsiv, the pasuk there says, Vayimach eskola yakum ashal pnei adama. The Eibishter erases all of existence on the face of the earth, and then the pasuk says, May Adam vad behema. All human beings, and then all the animals. Bereisha Adam v'hada behema. First the human being, and then the animal. So here you see that the human being was punished first. In a sikha and a few places, the Rebbe brings about this Indian of Achav Ekedem Tzartani. What it says over here, that on one hand the human being is created last, on the other hand he's last in creation, which shows on his chshivas, shows how great he is. The whole purpose of creation is the human being. That the whole world is created before, so you should enter into a prepared world. On the other hand, he's kedem for Piranias. That also means benegayet to the person himself. Within the person himself, he has the highest and the lowest within him. And you see that a person can go, the human being could be the greatest in the world, but a human being could fall the lowest, even lower than an animal. When a person does what he's supposed to and lives life the way he's supposed to, he can go higher than anybody else. And when he doesn't, he can fall lower than any other creature in the world. Sagt die Gemara weiter, Bishleim, going back to the argument of Rav and Shmuel, Bishleim Lamandama Partzov.
How do you explain the Mabul if the Nachash got punished also?
I'm not sure. Let's go weiter in the Gemara. Bishleim Lamandama Partzov. It's well understood according to the opinion that says that Adam and Chava were created together, and there were two faces that were attached, two faces that were attached to each other. So that is the pshat of why it says Vayitzer with two yuds, that there were two bodies. El Amandamazon, the one that says that it was only a tail, my Vayitzer. Why does it say Vayitzer? This is basically the question we asked before, but over there we were talking about the opinion that said that it's a Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. So the Gemara gives the same answer as we said before. Kedei Rab Shimon ben Pazi, like Rab Shimon ben Pazi said, Damar Rab Shimon ben Pazi, Oili mi Yitzri, Oili mi Yitzri. A person, whatever he does, either he has a pressure that the Eibishter is looking at him, or he has a pressure and a challenge that comes from the Yetzer Hara. Another question, Bishleim Lamandama Partzov. It's well understood according to the one that it says that there were two faces. Hainu d'chsiv, Zachar u'Nekeva bra'am. They were created as a Zachar and Nekeva. The pasuk there is talking about the creation of Adam and Rishon, and it says Zachar and Nekeva bra'am, that they were created one body that was included of both Zachar and Nekeva. El Amandama Zana, but the one that says that Chava was only built from a tail, my Zachar and Nekeva, what's pshat Zachar and Nekeva bra'am? Could Rabavo? The answer is like Rabavo says. Rabavo asked the following contradiction. Ksiv Zachar and Nekeva bra'am. One pasuk it says that Adam Rishon is created as a Zachar and a Keva, and it uses a plural term, that there were two faces. That's what it seems. And then another pasuk, Ksiv Ki b'tzelem elikim asa esa Adam. The Eibusha creates him in the image of God, and over here it uses a singular term, just one figure, one person. Okay, Tzad, what's the pshat on this? So Rabbi said, B'tchila olav machshava livres beis. In the beginning, the Eibusha's plan was to create Adam Rishon, two bodies together. The two faces, two bodies together. But Ulubasayif, in the end, lo nivra ela echad. The Eibusha only created one body of the Zachar, and Chava was just built from a tail. That's according to this other opinion. Fragt the Gemara weiter, another question. Bishlem lemandoma partsov. It's well understood according to the opinion that says that there were two faces. When the Eibishter removes and separates these two bodies of each other, so it's self-understood that the Eibishter has to patch up. When you cut one body from another body, the Eibishter has vayizgar basa. The Eibishter added flesh, and the Eibishter made it that it should be smooth, the two bodies separate. But if it's simply just cutting off a tail, what exactly is just an incision, and you remove that tail, and that's it. So what has to be done here? In that place where the incision is, you do have to patch it up in a way that it should be smooth. So even over there, goes on that area. Now the Gemara asks a question on the other opinion. It's well understood according to the opinion that says that it was only a tail. The tzela is only a tail. That's why it says the Eibishter constructed, the Eibishter built. Because the Eibishter took the tail that he separated from Adam Arishain and built a whole body of a female out of it. But according to the opinion that says that it was two bodies that were attached to each other, what does the Eibishter have to build? You just have to separate, and that's it. And for the Gemara, look at the Rab Shimon ben Menashe, the daughter Rab Shimon ben Menashe. What does it mean that the Eibishter built the tzela? Malamet shakolo hakadosh baruch hu lechava ve'evia la'adam arishan. That the Eibishter built and made braids in her hair, beautiful braids in her hair, and brought her to Adam Arishan. In overseas, in places, certain places, they refer to nice braided hair. They refer to it as a binyan. It's a beautiful building on the head. So that's the pshat of here, that the Eibishter presented Chava as a beautiful woman to him with a beautiful braided hair. Davar achar, another pshat, vayiven. What does it mean, vayiven here? Amar Avchista v'amar Rabbi Masnita Tanam Elamed. This teaches us regarding the figure of the body of a female. Shebana kadosh baruch hu lechava kebinyan eitzer. The Eibishter creates the body of Chava like the building of a storage house, which is created narrow on the top and wide on the bottom. So Rashi says there shouldn't be pressure on the walls, and then whatever is being stored there should be able to be held there. It's narrow on the top and wide on the bottom. So it won't be pressure on the walls. So it could contain the fruits. Narrow on the top, but and broader at the bottom. They have the ability to contain, to hold the vlad, the pregnancy, the baby that it has to hold. So that's the pshat of Vayiven over here, that the Eibishter built the body in this way. And the Eibishter brought her to Adam. What's the pshat? Vayiviyeho. The Eibishter brings her. The Eibishter was the unterführer. He was the unterführer, and he was the one that Rashi says over here actually, mishtadl b'chupase b'zivugai. He was the one that made all the wedding arrangements and brought them together. This teaches you the ways of the world, and it teaches you an important thing. Even a prominent person should go out of his way to help even someone that's much lower than him, to help him with arrangements of a chasana. You shouldn't feel bad about it, because the Eibishter did the same. According to the opinion that says that there were two faces, two bodies that were attached to each other. In which direction was this body walking? Who was walking facing in the front, and who was following behind?
Who's the leader?
Who's the leader and who's following? No, so you can imagine the answer to the Gemara. Zok the Gemara. Amar Rav Nachman. By Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak Mistavere, it makes sense to say the Gavre Sagi Bereisha, that the man is the one that's walking ahead and the woman is following him. But the reason the Gemara gives is different than what you might have thought. The Tanya, the Gemara brings this and bases this on a halacha. What's the halacha? Mistavere, based on a halacha. Why? Lo yahalach adam achayre isha. When a person walks in the street, you're not allowed to walk behind the woman. So if the woman is walking ahead and the man is following her, so then you're not allowed to walk behind the woman. Even in a case where a person is walking with his wife in the street, he shouldn't have his wife walk ahead of him and him walk behind her. What's if a person is walking across of a bridge and he's walking behind a woman? He should go to the side and walk ahead of her. A person that's crossing a river, not on a bridge, but is crossing through the water behind a woman, because the woman has to pick up her garments in order to cross through, and therefore walking behind a woman in that situation is not a good thing. So this is based on this halacha. We say that it's mistavra that Adam Rishon walks ahead and the Chava behind him follows her. And there's a discussion in Paiskim about this. The Gemara here is going to say pretty harsh things about this halacha. There's a discussion in Paiskim about this, whether it applies today, and some say that today's day and age, when there's so many women that are walking in the street, and it's almost impossible in certain places to walk without finding yourself walking behind a woman, so then this halacha doesn't necessarily apply. But you should keep a distance as much as possible, and in a place where it is easy to just walk on another side or not walk directly behind a woman, definitely this halacha does apply. Sagt die Gemara weiter, Taner Rabbanan, Hamarza Mois Leisha Miyada Liyada, a person that gives money from his hands to the woman's hands, and he's doing it with the intention Kedela Stakelba, in order to take a gaze at her. Even if he has Taira and Maisim Tayvim in his possession, even if he's as great as Moshe Rabbeinu, he will not be saved, he won't be clean from the punishment in Gehenna. Shanema Yad Liyad Lo Yinoke. Ra lo yinoke medina shel Gehenim. So this individual, yad liyad, it refers to Moshe Rabbeinu that received the Torah from the hands of the Eibishter. That's what Rashi here says. But this person is evil, and therefore he won't be saved from the din of Gehenna. Rav Nachman said the following: Manoyach am ha'aretz haya. Manoyach was an am ha'aretz. Who's Manoyach? He was the father of Shimshon. He was an am ha'aretz. How do we see this? The pasuk says, "Vayelech Manoach achrei ishta." He walked behind his wife, which we just said that a person should not walk that way in the street. So he was an amoritz. Ask if Rav Nachman by Yitzchak. How could you say this? Ela meyata gabi alkana d'chsiv vayelech alkana achrei ishta. He walked behind his wife. Taisus over here says on this piece of the Gemara that it's a mistake. There's no such pasuk anywhere where it says that Alkana walked behind his wife. As you see here, that there's no maramokim to any pasuk anywhere. So Taisus says you got to erase it. Okay, but there's another pasuk. Regarding Elisha, it says, "Vayakam vayelech achrel," and he got up and he walked behind her. So he walked behind his wife. Hachanami achrel mamish. Over here as well, does it literally mean that they walked behind their wife? It can't be. They were great tzaddikim. What does it mean? Acharei devarev achrei atzasa. He followed her words and followed her advice. That's what it means. So Hachanami over here as well, regarding Menoyach, we can say achrei devarev achrei atzasa, that he followed her words and followed her advice, so he wasn't an amoritz. Ravashi said, according to what Rav Nachman said, that he was an amoritz, he didn't even learn simple psukim that children in Chayda learn. Shenema, because the pasuk says, Vatokam Rivka v'nariseh vatikavna al gmalim. Rivka and her maidens and her servants went and rode on camels, and they were riding behind Eliezer, not in front of him. So even a simple pasuk in Chumash, you see that the man doesn't ride behind the woman. You should rather follow and go behind the lion, even if that might be dangerous, but not to walk behind the woman. And if you don't have a choice in the matter, but you have another choice here, you walk behind the woman, and not behind the Avodah Zarah. Walk behind Avodah Zarah, go out of your way in a way even that gets you behind Avodah Zarah, but don't walk behind the shul in the time that they daven, and you walk behind the shul and you don't enter into the shul. This is a Gemara we had already earlier on in Brachos. And the Gemara here qualifies this as we had before. Walking behind the shul when they daven, and you don't enter into the shul, that was not said, if he's not carrying anything on his back, if he's not carrying a package. But if he's carrying something, then it's not a problem, because it's obvious that he's not rejecting entering into the shul, he just carries something. He's going somewhere. And also, even more, it's only said if there's no other entrance. But even if he's not entering in this place, people won't think that he's not entering into the shul, he might enter into another door. And this is not said only if it's only said if he's not riding on a donkey. If he's riding on a donkey, less lamba, because he's riding going on his way. He's not intentionally not walking into the shul. And it's only said if he walks behind the shul and he's not wearing tefillin. So So then it may seem that he doesn't want to walk into shul. Aval monach tefillin. So if he's wearing tefillin, he obviously believes in and he's davening and he's wearing tefillin, less lamba, it doesn't matter. Dr. Gemara Amara, Yetzer Hara doimel zvuv. The Yetzer Hara is compared to a fly. V'yoshev ben shneim afteichei halev. And he sits right over there in the heart of the person, in between the two entrances of the heart. Shenemar, the pasuk says, Zvuvei maves, yavish, yavia, shemen rekeach. You have a fly, a dead fly that falls into geschmack food or oil, the pasuk is talking about, and that one dead fly ruins everything. So the same thing also regarding the Yetzer Hara. It's a small fly that sits there by the entrance of your heart, and even if everything else goes well, the Yetzer Hara falls in and everything else gets ruined. Everything gets ruined. Shmuel Amar, Shmuel says, Kimin chita hu daima. He's similar to a chita, to a wheat. Shenema, the pasuk says, LePesach chatos reivis. The person crouches and at the opening of an aveda. And so he's dashing the word chatos like a wheat. Sagt die Gemara weiter, Ton Rabbanon, Shtei kloyes yesh bei badam. A person has two kidneys. Achas yaetzasel taiva. One kidney is where the good advice of the person comes from, the good ideas and good advice. V'achas yaetzasel ra. And one has bad advice for the person. Umistavre, and the Gemara says that it's logical to say the taiva li yaminai, that the kidney that gives the person good advice is on the right side, v'ra l'smailai, and the one that gives bad advice to the person is on the left. The chsiv, as the pasuk says, just similar to what you see regarding the heart, leiv chacham liyaminai, that it's the right ventricle of the heart, which is wisdom, and the leiv ksil l'smailai, and the foolish part of the heart is on the left. As we know always in chassidus, right and left, so the same thing is also regarding the kidneys. Tana Rabbana, we learned in a different brayse as follows. Very interesting how the physical organs of the body, each one of them has different effects on the person, psychologically, emotionally, and so on, as we'll see here. Kloyes yayetzais. It's the kidneys that give the person the advice of the ideas. Leiv maven. And then the heart understands, the heart considers this advice. Loshen machatach. And then it's the tongue that articulates. Peh geimer. And the words with the mouth is when the person speaks and gets the idea out. Veishet machnes. The esophagus is where the food enters into, umaitzi, and comes out also. Kol mine meichel, the food that the person eats. Kona, which is the, give me the translation again for kona, the windpipe. The windpipe, yeah. Maitzi koil. That's what a person speaks with. The sounds of a person that he speaks with. Reya, the lungs of a person. Shayeves kol mine mashkin. It absorbs the liquids that a person eats. The liquids that a person eats and digests in his stomach. So the liquids gets absorbed by the walls of the lungs. Kaved, the liver, kayis. That's the source of anger in the person. Mara zayekes by tippa. But the mara, which is the gal, throws in a drop of something that calms down the anger. Manichose, calms the person down. Tchayil, the spleen, seichik, is the source of laughter in the person. Kurkavan, which is the gizzard, teichen. It grinds the food. Keva yishana, the stomach of the person is what brings about sleep for the person. Af, the nose of the person, the sense of smell, neir, is what causes a person to wake up. Neir ayasha and yashana neir. What if these two things exchange their job? That the stomach, instead of inducing sleep, it's too awake, and the nose, instead of inducing a person to wake up, instead it's sleepy. So then it's a problem. Nimuk v'haylachle. The person will languish and then will die. Whatever. It's not healthy for the person. That's one pshat in Rashi. Another pshat in Rashi is that if the nose that's supposed to be inducing a person to wake up and it doesn't function the way it's supposed to, so his stomach is inducing him to sleep, and his nose, which has the sense of smell that should wake him up, is also sleepy, so then the person will sleep and won't wake up. Sagt die Gemara weiter, the famous Gemara that Alter Rebbe quotes in Perek Aleph of Tanya. Tanya Rabbi Yosef Glili Yomer. Tzadikim Yetzet Tov Sheiftam. The tzadikim are judged by the Yetzet Tov. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, V'libi cholal bekirbi. And my heart is empty within me. Risham Yetzer Ra Sheiftam. The Risham are judged by the Yetzer Hara. Shenem, as the pasuk says, Nu'um peshel rasha bekerev libi ein pachad elikim lenegedeinov. The Eibush is not in front of him; he's being judged by the only by the Yetzer Hara. Beinanim zev zeh shoftam. The Beinanim are judged by both the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. Shenem, as it says in the pasuk, Yamid liyamin evyayin lo yishia mishoftei nafshay. The Eibush stands at the right side of the poor individual that's being judged shoftei nafshay, using a plural term, referring to the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. Omar Rave, or the Girsa that Alter Rebbe brings in Tanya, is Omar Rabbe Kagayin Onu Beinanim. Like we, myself, including himself, Rabbe, I am a Beinani. You don't leave any life for any other person. If you're a Beinani, so what are we? So what does the Alter Rebbe say in Tanya about this piece of Gemara? So there's the two famous things that the Alter Rebbe proves from this piece of Gemara. First of all, from the fact that the Rebbe said such a thing that I know Beinani, it proves to us that Beinani has to have a much deeper understanding. Beinani doesn't just mean half mitzvahs, half avedas. Rebbe would have never said that even b'derech hanova. Obviously, Beinani means a person that never does an aveda b'chlal. That's one raya the Alter Rebbe brings from this Gemara. Another raya is from the fact that it says v'libi cholol b'kirbi, that if a tzaddik is an individual that has majority mitzvahs, as opposed to a Beinani that's half and half, why v'libi cholol b'kirbi? As long as it's a little bit tipped the scale, the majority mitzvahs, you're already in the category of a tzaddik. Elamai, you see that no, the real definition of a tzaddik is not only that you have no avedas, but the pnimi is the person doesn't have any trace of evil in his heart. That's the taich of v'libi cholol b'kirbi. The third thing that Alter Rebbe says in Tanya regarding this Gemara, which is in Perikid Gimel, Zev zeh shoftan, and Yamid liyamin avyin l'shia mishoftei nafshay. First of all, the Alter Rebbe there says shoftan. Shoftan, a judge that gives an opinion, it's not necessarily the final psak. He just gives an opinion. The Beinani has the two voices in his heart that are pulling him in one direction or the other, but when it comes to Maisa B'Payil, he doesn't listen to them, because in his Machshava Dibra Maisa, he's in the right place. It's just two voices of judges that are saying their opinion. Then the Alter Rebbe says, the pasuk that the Gemara brings, Yamid L'Min Evin L'Shiyah M'Shoftei Nafshay, this is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oizrai for the Beinani that has these two voices, and the Eibishter helps him to be able to overcome the voice of the Yetzer Hara and do the right thing that he's supposed to. The world, the world is only created for either for Rishaim Gemurim to benefit of it, or Tzadiki Gemuri, or for Tzadikim Gemurim to benefit of it. If a person is a Rasha Gomer, Rashi explains, then what happens is that in this world, the Eibishter allows him to enjoy, in order to then, when in the world to come, he doesn't have anything, and over there he's punished. A Tzadik Gomer is the person that has the benefit of the world to come. Amar Rave says, Lei dainish benafshei, a person should know regarding himself, im tzadik gomer hu im lav, whether he's a tzadik or not. Amar Rav, le'ivri alma ela la'achav ben omri, or Rab Chanina ben Daisa. Giving an example for the two things that the Gemara just said now, either a Rasha gomer or a tzadik gomer. So he says the world is created either for a person like Achav, which was a Rasha gomer, or a person like Rab Chanina ben Daisa, which was a great tzadik. La'achav ben omri ha'elam hazeh. This world is created for him. Rab Chanina ben Daisa, ha'olam haba. Ha'olam haba is created for him. V'ahavta es Hashem lekecha. This is going back to the Mishnah. In the Mishnah it was quoted, V'ahavta es Hashem lekecha, v'chol avavcha, v'chol nafshcha, v'chol maidecha, and the Gemara darshan the pasuk, so the Gemara now explains. Tanya, Rabbi Eliezer, ne'im nema b'chol nafshcha. If the Torah says that you have to love the Eibishter with all of your life, to give up your life, to be ready to die for the Eibishter's sake. So lama nema b'chol ma'itcha. Why does the pasuk have to say b'chol ma'itcha? Which in the Mishnah it said that you have to be ready to give up all your possessions, all your money for the Eibishter's sake. If it says b'chol ma'itcha, why does it have to say b'chol nafshcha? What's the difference here? Ela, so the pshat here is as follows: Im yesh lecha adam shegufi chavev olav mimamaynai. You have a person that his body is more cherished to him more than his money. V'kach nama b'chol nafshcha. So therefore it says, be ready to give up your life. And you have a person that his money is more cherished to him than his life. Therefore the pasuk says b'chol ma'itcha. Right, so the simple pshat of the Gemara over here is two different kinds of people. There's some people that their money is more important than their life, and even such a person should be ready to give up all of his money for the Eibishter's sake. Rabbi Kiva says b'chol nafshecha. The pshat of b'chol nafshecha is afile neitelas nafshecha. Even if the Eibishter, even if you have to be ready to give up your life for the Eibishter's sake, that's the taich of b'chol nafshecha. This is the introduction.
He's arguing?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. Not sure. That says in the Mishnah, correct. L'chayr, the Gemara is only bringing this here as an introduction for the story that's going to follow. This is the famous story of Rabbi Akiva that gave up his life for Torah, which follows over here. Tana Rabbanon, we learned in Abraisa the following story. Pa machas. Once it happened. Gozra malchus arisha, the Romans decreed, Shalayasku Yisrael b'Torah, that Yidden should not learn Torah. Ba Papas ben Yehuda. So Papas ben Yehuda arrived and saw v'motzil Rabbi Akiva shoyimakal kihilas barabim v'isik b'Torah, that he gathers people in public places and he's learning Torah with them. So not only is he not listening to the decree and learning Torah privately somewhere hiding in a basement, but he's actually publicly making gatherings and learning Torah. Amalei Akiva iyata misyarim ipnei malchus. Are you not afraid from the government, from the authorities? Amalei, Rabbi Akiva answered him, Em shelacha mashalama davadaima. I'll give you an example of what this would be compared to. L'shual, a fox, shoyim mahalach al gav anar, that's walking at the by the river. V'ra dogim shoyim eskaptzim imakim lamakim, and he sees the fish that are gathering and going from one place to another. Amalahem, so he tells the fish, mipnei matem bayichem, where are you running away from? Amrulai, the fish say to the fox, Mipnei reshtais shemevim aleino. It's because of the nets that the people are throwing into the river and trying to capture us. So we're trying to escape. Shemevim aleino b'nei yadam, that people bring. Amalahem, so the fox tells them, Ritzainchem shetalu li abasha v'nodar ani v'atem kishem shedora avaisam aviseichem. So come up, I'll take you out of the river and I'll invite you to live with me in a place where my father and your fathers live together. The fish responded to the fox, you are the one that everyone says that you are the most wise of all the animals. You're not wise, you're a fool. If in a place where we could live in the water, still we're afraid for the nets that come and catch us and take us out of the water. How much more so if you take us out in the place that there's no source of life whatsoever, so we have nothing. This is the mashal. So Rabbi Akiva said, Afanachnu, the same is also with us. Achshav terei shanu yoshvim va'iskim b'Torah. We are sitting and learning Torah, sheksiv ba, shekosav ba, regarding Torah. It says, Ki hu chayecha va'irich yamecha. Torah is your life and all your days of the life in this world. So kach, the same thing as well. Imano helchom mevatla mimena. If we're not going to learn any Torah, so we'll have no life whatsoever, no purpose of living whatsoever. Right? So this includes, so the amazing thing over here is, Rabbi Akiva brought this all, not only for a mashal of learning Torah himself, but as a mashal to justify what he was doing, to be makal kihilas berabim, while this Gezeda was going on. So the chayein of Eirich Yemeinu of Torah is not enough that a person learns Torah himself, but he makes shiyurim berabim to learn Torah. That's the real chayas of the Torah. Like the fish, it says before, the mashal as well, you see the diuk in the mashal, he said, Ra dogim shoyim miskaptzim imakim lamakim, that the fish were going in herds, they were going whatever, together, they were going from place to place. Amru, the Gemara says it was said, not many days passed, that the authorities arrested Rabbi Akiva, and they put him into prison. And v'tafsu Papas ben Yehuda, and they also arrested this Papas ben Yehuda v'chavshu etzloi, and they imprisoned him, and he found himself in a prison cell near Rabbi Akiva. And so what happened then? Omar Loi, Rabbi Akiva said to him, Papas, who brought you here? You're the person that was always careful from the authorities. So I know why I am here, because I didn't care, but who brought you here? Papas ben Yehuda answered him, Ashrecha Rabbi Akiva shenitfasta al divrei Torah. Fortunate are you, Rabbi Akiva, that you've been arrested because you were caught learning Torah. Oili lepapas shenitfas al dvarim betelim. And for me, Papas, that I was arrested for foolish things, for things for no reason whatsoever. Then what happened? When it came time and they took Rabbi Akiva out to take away his life. Zman Kriya Shema Hoya. It was at the time in the morning when you read Kriya Shema. And they combed his skin with iron, with an iron comb or an iron comb. And he was saying Kriya Shema. He was accepting upon himself El Malchus Shamayim while they were doing this to them in all this unbelievable pain. Amru loy Talmidov. So his students commented to Rabbi Akiva, Rabbeinu, our Rebbe, at Kan. So far, so how far does this go that even while they're doing this to you, you're able to say Kriya Shema? Amalahem, so Rabbi Akiva responded to them and said, Kol Yomaya Yisim Mitztayir al Pasuk Zeh, my entire lifetime I had pain. I was thinking regarding this Pasuk, B'chol Nafshecha, where it says that the B'chol Nafshecha, and as the Gemara brought, Rabbi Akiva Darshan, Tafila Noitel es Nafsh es Nishmascha, Amarti, and I said, Masa Yovel Yodav Akaimenu. When will I have the ability to fulfill what it says in this pasuk? V'achshav shabali yadi, and now that the ability to fulfill this Mesiris Nefesh loya kaimenu, I shouldn't fulfill it, and I shouldn't have the concentration that I'm doing this mitzvah and say Kriya Shema while this is happening to me. Hayamayirech be'echad, Rabbi Akiva said Kriya Shema, and he said the word echad and had the kavana in the word echad achi yotzah nishmasi be'echad. And his neshama left him, and he said the word echad. Yatzasa Baskoil v'Omra. Baskoil came out from heaven and said, Ashrecha Rabbi Akiva sheyatza nishmascha be'echad. Fortunate are you, Rabbi Akiva, that your neshama left you when you said echad. Amru malachi ashtaros lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the malachim said to the Eibishter, Zu Torah v'zu schara. This is the Torah, and this is the schar of those that learn Torah. Mimisim, the pasuk says, Mimisim yotcha Hashem. Mimisim v'gaimer, that from your hands, Hashem, you are the ones that caused this death that came to Rabbi Akiva. Omar lahem, the Eibishter answers the malachim, Chelkom b'chayim. Those that go through this experience, their portion is in life, in their true life. Yatzas al-Baska v'omra, Baska came out again and said, Ashrecha Rabbi Akiva shatem mezum l'chai olam haba. Fortunate that you, Rabbi Akiva, that you are invited and prepared to the life of Chai olam haba. So this Gemara is obviously an unbelievable story with Rabbi Akiva. This is the Mesiris Nefesh of Rabbi Akiva that's unique and is quoted in many places in the Rebbe Sichos Maimonim. And the Rebbe says that a few things. First of all, there's what it says regarding the Mesiris Nefesh of Rabbi Akiva that is different than the Mesiris Nefesh of Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was not looking for Mesiris Nefesh. Avraham Avinu, it says, Al Tikra Vayikra Elav Vayakri, he announced and proclaimed the Eibish's name, and he wasn't thinking even about Mesiris Nefesh. Regarding Rabbi Akiva, it says, Masa Yavel Yodav Akaimeni, that he had a desire to come to the level of Mesiris Nefesh. So in that aspect, it's a lower level of Mesiris Nefesh than Avraham Avinu. Another detail that Rebbe points out of this Gemara, that Rabbi Akiva, the Mesiris Nefesh that he spoke about over here, he gives a long mashal to explain it to even like an individual like Papas ben Yehuda. This is a kind of Mesiris Nefesh that Rabbi Akiva is teaching and explaining even al Piseichel. There's another level of Mesiris Nefesh which you can't teach. You can't explain al Piseichel. It's the essence of the neshama, which is beyond Seichel. That's on one hand. But on the other hand, of course, you see the tremendous mile of Rabbi Akiva's Mesiris Nefesh in two obvious details. Number one, his entire lifetime, he was mitzvah that he wanted to have Mesiris Nefesh. The Rebbe says the significance of that really means, it's not stam that he had this taiva. Everything he did in his entire life, in his daily schedule, was infused with this energy of Mesiris Nefesh. There's the kayach of Mesiris Nefesh that the neshama has. But on a daily basis, we daven, we learn, we go, we come, we do. It's not infused with that desire of Mesiris Nefesh. The fact that he had that desire means that everything he did was infused with the flavor of Mesiris Nefesh. The other thing that we see over here regarding Rabbi Akiva is that while his life is being taken away from him with the greatest tsar and pain, he was able to do it b'simcha. He was able to have pleasure and joy in saying Hashem Echad in the greatest level of tsar, which is an unbelievable thing. It's only because his entire lifetime he lived with this, and every moment of his life, when it came to that moment with the greatest pain, he was able to experience the greatest joy of singing and being able to say Shema Yisrael. There are stories, of course, in similar vein, and people in the Holocaust that also died al Kiddush Hashem and were singing and dancing while they were died al Kiddush Hashem. There's the famous story of Rab Leib Sheinin that was burnt in a shul alive, and the people that were able to escape recorded how Mamish B'Shas Maisa, when they lit the whole shul on fire, he was dancing and singing and Simchas Teirening together with everyone, that there was Zeicha to die al Mesiris Nefesh. Okay. Another part in the Mishnah. Completely different Indian. Loi yakel adam es roishai keneged Shara Mizrach, a person should not act lightheadedly when he's standing in the place outside of the Beis HaMikdash, but he's facing the Mizrach entrance, Shum Mechoven Keneged Beis Kodesh HaKadoshim, since it's directly taking you to the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Lo Yomru Ela min hatzayfim v'lifnim. This is only said from the place which is called Tzayfim, and the further inward, which is a place that it's possible to see the Beis HaMikdash from there. That's what Tzayfim means. You look from there and see the Beis HaMikdash from there. Yeah, maybe, possibly, I'm not sure. Uberaya. And in a situation where the person is actually seeing the Beis HaMikdash. If a person is further in from that place of Tzayfim, but he's in a valley where he can't see, so then this doesn't apply. It Menami, we learned as well. Only from that place where you could see, and he actually sees the Beis HaMikdash. And if there's no wall in front of him that's separating between him and the Beis HaMikdash, and at the time that the Beis HaMikdash is standing. Now, based on this halacha, the Gemara brings another din also regarding when a person uses the bathroom, which doesn't. Whatever we're going to learn here now does not apply in today's day and age, because then they use bathrooms in open places. But in today's day and age, where everything is surrounded by walls, Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch brings this. It doesn't apply today. Huh? Good. Tana Rabbanon Nifne b'Yehuda. A person, no, but 1 second, you'll see in the Gemara over here, it's even a chutzlar. It's Hanifne b'Yehuda. A person that's using the bathroom, and it's in the section of Yehuda and Eretz Yisrael. Lo yifne mizrach and ma'ariv. He shouldn't position himself that his front and back should be mizrach and ma'ariv, el tzafon v'darim. He should position himself, front and back should be tzafon and darim. So like this, the side of his body will be facing the Beis HaMikdash. Rashi makes the cheshbon over here exactly the way Yehuda, the section of Yehuda, is in its position in Eretz Yisrael regarding the Beis HaMikdash. So when the person's positioning himself tzafon v'darim, so he's not his front and back is not exposed to the Beis HaMikdash. But if you're in the section of Galil in Eretz Yisrael, you should position yourself in a way of Mizrach and Ma'ariv and not tzafon v'darim. Rabbi Yosi matter, and Rabbi Yosi says either way it's fine. Shahay Rabbi Yosi Aimer, because Rabbi Yosi said Loi Asru Ela Beraya. This was only forbidden in a place where you could see the Beis HaMikdash. Ubemakim Shein Shem Gather, in a place that there's no wall. Ubezman Shashchina Shayre, and when the Beis HaMikdash is standing. The Braisa concludes V'Chachamim Oisrim. The Chachamim say it's forbidden, even in Yehuda and even in Galil. Fragt the Gemara, Chachamim meine Tanakama. Chachamim seem to be saying the exact same thing as the Tanakama. And for the Gemara, Ikke Beinayu Tzdaden. The difference is Tzdaden, which if in Galil and Yehuda, there are those sections of Galil and Yehuda which are directly against the Beis HaMikdash, but then there's the sides further out in Galil, further out in Yehuda. So the Chiddush of the Chachamim is, the Chiddush of the Tanakama is that even on the sides it's Asr. Chachamim are asering only if you're directly in that section of Galil and Yehuda that's connected to the Beis HaMikdash. Tanya, we learned in a different Braise. Tanya idach hanifne b'Yehuda la yifne mizrach ma'ariv. Should not expose himself in the position of mizrach and ma'ariv. El tzafon v'darim. He should position himself in tzafon v'darim. Or begalil tzafon v'darim. And in galil it should be he should position himself in a way of tzafon v'darim aser. Tzafon v'darim is aser. Mizrach and ma'ariv mutter. The same like we learned before. But Rabbi Yosi mater. Rabbi Yosi says it's permitted. Shahay Rabbi Yosi aimer le asru ela beraya. It's only forbidden if you could see the Beis HaMikdash. Rabbi Yehuda says, Bizman Beis HaMikdash kayam asr. Only if the Beis HaMikdash is standing, then it's forbidden. Bizman she'ein Beis HaMikdash kayam. If the Beis HaMikdash is not standing, then mutter, then it's permitted. Rabbi Akiva aiser b'chol makim. Rabbi Akiva says, exposing yourself and in a position where your front or back are facing the Beis HaMikdash is forbidden in any place. Rabbi Akiva seems to be saying the same thing as the Tanakama. Ikke beinayu, and for the Gemara the difference is chutz la'aretz. Rabbi Akiva holds this applies even in chutz la'aretz. The Tanakama was speaking about Yehuda and Galil in Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Akiva says b'chol makim. So now the Gemara brings a story from Rabba that he paskened like Rabbi Akiva. Rabba have a shadyan leveni mizrach hamayrev. He positioned the bricks that he would sit on when he would use the bathroom in a way that it's mizrach hamayrev, so he sits tzafon and darim, not to face Eretz Yisrael. Azal Abaya went shadinu tzafon v'darim. He changed the position. All Rabba came into this place, into the bathroom, tartzinu, and he repositioned it in the place that he wanted, in the way that he wanted it to be. Omar, he said, Man haideke matzarli. Who's giving me this tzar that I have to reposition the seat for him to sit? Anak Rabbi Akiva svirili. I hold like Rabbi Akiva that even in Chutzlaretz, even in Bavel, a person should not use the bathroom in a way that he's facing Eretz Yisrael, facing the Beis HaMikdash. Omar b'chol makom asor.